and welcome to the Made for Business show where Catholic moms come to learn how to build a business that is simple, holy, and profitable. I am your host, Sterling Jakewith, and today on episode 23, we're talking about overcoming objections with the truth. So, for a lot of us who have a history of being scared of sales and sales calls, we are scared of objections. Someone saying, "What? That is too expensive." Or someone saying, "I just don't think I have the time for that." Or someone saying, "You know what? It sounds great, but I really have to ask my husband." Or, "I don't know, I've signed up for a lot of programs. I'm not sure this one's going to work for me." Right? There's so many objections that people can have to spending money. And our brain freaks out about having conversations with people who have objections. So first, I just want you to recognize that it feels like a rejection of you. It feels like something is wrong. It feels like a tiny attack. Right? If someone expresses a strong emotion at you, it's very easy to take it personally. It's very easy to hear, "You are too expensive. You are not worth the time. I have to ask my husband about you. I'm not sure you can get me results." So first, I just want you to know, of course your brain hates the idea of that. Of course. If I said, "I'm going to send you into a room and people are going to insult your body," you'd be like, "I don't want to go in that room. That sounds terrible." I'd be like, "Yeah." And so when you build this idea up in your mind and you just play it out, "Oh no, what if they say these things?" And then your brain is like, "That sounds scary. Don't take me to that scary place, please." You're going to not try to get sales. You're going to sabotage yourself subconsciously or maybe even consciously. You're not going to want to stand in front of someone who's interested in buying your product or your service and have a conversation with them. Okay? But I want you to know that not overcoming their objections is like not telling them the truth. Because brains, they're big scaredy cats. We know this by now. And they don't like spending money, and they don't like spending 4 digits of money or 5 digits of money. So especially for those of you that have those price tags, it's a 4 or 5 digit purchase, right? A brain is automatically a no. And I want you to know that. When your brain hears that something costs $2,000 or $10,000 or $25,000, your brain is like, no. So you should expect that of your clients. You should expect that their brain is going to offer them a no. Your job is to understand why the brain is saying no and if it is true for your client. Okay? So the way I like to say this is, I like to say exactly that. First of all, brains are often a no. So if that's what's coming up for you, that's completely normal. Tell me what your brain is thinking. I like saying it that way because it doesn't make it sound like the person has to say something difficult to me. I say, "Tell me what your brain is thinking." And then they may say, "My brain thinks that's too expensive." I usually like to agree with the objection because it would be off-putting if somebody you wanted to have a relationship with was like, "You're wrong." All right. So I go, "Yeah, it really is expensive. It's a lot of money. It's a pretty big investment, but I really think it's worth it. Remember what we talked about? How you wanted to lose weight or you wanted to grow your business or you wanted less pain in your marriage. And you said, I want to be able to walk in the house without feeling like I'm walking on eggshells. Or I want to sit down at my desk and I want to know exactly what to work on so that when my husband watches the kids for 2 hours, I really honor that time in my business. And I will remind them of what they said and say, is that worth this much money to you? And I tell them it's fine if the answer is no. God brings me the clients I'm supposed to work with. That's why I'm willing to coach them on their objections. But oftentimes the reason that they've come to me in the first place is they're believing things that their brain is telling them that isn't true. So it would be a huge disservice to them if I let them leave me continuing to do that. And so I'll ask, how expensive is it to not know how to manage your mind? How much does it cost you to sit down at your desk and not know what you're working on? Or to keep trying lots of different marketing strategies like throwing darts in the middle of the night? I can show you how to turn the light on and throw the dart to one place that works. How much is that worth? How much would it be worth to learn how to rely on the Holy Spirit to run your business so you didn't feel stressed out? And you know, when we're stressed out and our nervous system is blown out, you don't have access to critical thinking. So what kind of work do you think you're doing if you're constantly feeling waves of shame and guilt and frustration and bitterness? Those are some common feelings we feel in business. And so, again, because I believe that God brings me the clients I'm supposed to work with, I don't mind telling someone, hey, is what you're thinking true? Let's check in. Because earlier in our call, your brain also thought it was true that you don't know what you're doing in your business. And we kind of worked through that together, didn't we? Now, for the money objection, sometimes people really don't have the money. And then I often say, I will pray for you. If God means for us to work together, He will help you find the money. You are capable of finding this money because I believe in people. People find money in crazy ways. But we part on this hopeful note or an empowering note, because even if they don't come work with me, I want them to know I believe they can make money. They can sell things on Craigslist. They can drive for Uber. They can babysit someone else's kids while they're watching their kids. They can stop going out to eat so much. Some people find money that way. They think they have no money. And then we hear they literally are taking their entire family out to eat 3 or 4 nights a week. And they're like, I could just do it one night a week and then I'd have the money. Great. People have lots of money and we spend lots of money on things that we value. And we actually value something more than the dollars we exchange for that thing. And so they either don't understand the value of what you're offering, or maybe they legit don't have the money. Then we're going to pray for them and say, go find the money if we're meant to work together. Right? Or they have the money. They think what you're offering is valuable, but there's another reason they're not buying, and they're just using the money as the excuse. Because actually, it's pretty easy to say, I don't have the money for that. It's a lot harder to say, I really failed at the last 3 things I've paid for, and I really don't believe in myself right now, so I don't want to put more money in the garbage. That's how we think about ourselves. So I want you guys to know that too. Oftentimes, a money objection is just covering a different objection. Either that they don't believe in you, they don't believe in the thing that you offer, or they don't believe in themselves. Right? It's always one of those things. And so overcoming objections is just helping your client see the truth. And you are unattached to what the truth is, but you're just going to keep asking questions. So for the husband one, hey, I have to talk to my husband. I always go, of course you should talk to your husband. I would never make a 4 or 5 digit purchase without talking to my husband. But there are 2 ways that we talk to husbands. One way is we go in with mousy, unsure energy. I don't know. I talked to this coach and she sounds great. I think she could help me. Reach my goals faster and have clarity so I'm not so upset all the time. It sounds good. What do you think? Husband's like, that sounds not great. That sounds like you're very unsure, so I'm very unsure. My unsure alarm is blaring right now. And instead, think of something you really wanted before and you go to the husband and you're like, I really want this. How can we make it work? It's a totally different conversation. You come in prepared. You're like, these are my reasons. This is what I'm willing to do for this. So, I tell them both of those things. I tell them that, hey, there's 2 ways that we bring things to husbands. What do you think you're going to say to your husband? And we just practice it. And it might reveal she's not very sure. And then I'll be like, great, what are you not sure about? Your brain is still, and I can usually tell by their face or their voice, your brain is not sure. Why not? What are you worried about? What could go wrong? Why would this not be worth it? And we're just asking questions so that their brain can tell us what it's scared of, because brains are always scared of new things and usually scared of big purchases. And so your job as a Catholic business owner is to tell people the truth. Whether they buy with you or not is between them and God. But you don't want them walking away not understanding something. So one of the moms in our master's program who often shows up for group coaching calls has a skincare line. And body butter is made out of really beautiful things and with Marian themes, and it's lovely. And actually, to be honest, I don't know what the price point is, but I'm just going to say like not low, middle of the road. So not whatever you could get at Walgreens, right? But also maybe not the schmanciest body butter you could get at Nordstrom, right? So in between. And a woman is looking at that and she's like, I don't know, $18 for body butter. What is the lie that woman is believing? When she goes, no, I don't know. I don't, maybe later. Maybe I'll come back for Christmas. Usually the lie that woman is believing, right, is that I am not worth this. It would be irresponsible for me to spend money on this, which is crazy because she's spending crazy irresponsible money on all sorts of things for her kids and maybe even the house. But women really struggle spending money on themselves. And so I would want to take that woman and explore that with her. If she feels totally fine spending money on herself and she just doesn't want the $18 body butter, I'd be like, great. I just don't want her walking away because it's a self-worth issue. So that's what I mean by showing them the truth. Right? It is our job to tell them the truth. Overcoming objections is just helping people's brains understand the truth. Amy in Masters has a homesteading company. And so she sells, I think, all parts of the animals, but then also the lard, and maybe she makes soap out of that. And so there's kind of a bunch of ancillary things in addition to just buying meat and fruits and vegetables. And so someone might see what she has and think, that's expensive. And maybe it's because they just don't know, because they've never shopped around to what a quality, locally sourced beef package costs. And she could say, yeah, the truth is when you get the ones where they're processing 5,000 head of cattle and they're just eating a ton of corn and being pumped full of hormones and being butchered kind of poorly, that's what ends up in the grocery stores. But that kind of meat makes you sick. And ours is local. And if you start looking around, it's pretty well priced for local beef. And we take really good care of our animals, and we take really good care of you. So now you're just explaining the price to them. We're not arguing with them. We're not telling them that they should buy it. We're just making sure their brain understands the truth. So I want you to make a list of objections that you think you're going to get, or that you've already gotten, or that you're worried about. I want you to write down what their brain is thinking. And just guess a few things their brain could be thinking when they say, that sounds expensive. What are they believing? And what do you want to make sure they understand? Let's do it real fast for an iPhone. Let's say somebody was buying an iPhone, and when it first came out and it was $1,000, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, $1,000 for a cell phone. I remember my friend had one. I don't know if the first iPhone was $1,000. My first iPhone, I think, was $1,000. But my friend had one, and I was like, that's ridiculous. And then I would sit there and I would watch her use it. And it was so cool. And it did a lot of things that my phone didn't do. And it looked like she was able to get information much faster than I could get. And I forget how much my phone was, but it's not, we're not upset about the $1,000. It's really the difference between what you did pay for your phone and the next phone. You're really just coaching yourself on the difference between those two prices. And then you realize, and the phone companies were very clever about this. They were like, well, we'll finance the phone for 0% interest. It just gets rolled into your bill for the next 2 years. So it's really just $37. And then you're like, is $37 worth it to you to have better apps and find places more easily and not get lost, and to FaceTime with people that you love? Right? That person is just saying, wait. I don't think you understand what this phone can do that's different than what your phone can do. Let me just tell you the truth. Then once you hear the truth, totally up to you to decide. And I like thinking about overcoming objections this way because it makes me feel honorable. We want to feel honorable through the sales process. We want to feel the opposite of icky. And so I like the idea that I tell the truth and I help people see the truth. Then they still get to decide. So I just think this is a really great way to think about sales. And if you want to learn more about sales, on March 19th, St. Joseph's Day, I'm going to be starting the Market Like an Evangelist Challenge in Masters. So you have to join Masters for $49. We're going to start with 4 prep days where I teach you a little bit about marketing. Then we're going to do a novena to the Holy Spirit. Then we're going to post 100 times in 30 days. And I'm going to teach you how to not be scared of that. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to talk to your clients. And I'm going to teach you how to talk to them in such a way that they are clamoring to reach out to you. And then we're going to talk more about this, sales, and how to do it. We're going to talk about the 4 things I think you need: believing in your offer, trusting that God will bring you clients, that money is like air, and that overcoming objections is telling the truth. I want you to love this part of your business so that you can find the people that God wants you to work with. All right, so join us. It's going to be a very powerful challenge. I'm going to record the whole thing. So if you hear this later, you can join and start the challenge. It's a total of 60 days. So you can start it at any point and get lots of love and support throughout the way. But I think it would be super fun if you joined us right now and did it together live with the group. All right. So you can read more about that at madeforgreatness.co/masters. You can sign up for masters. And then on Saturday, March 19th, we're kicking off the Market Like an Evangelist Challenge. And I'm going to teach you to love sales and marketing. And it's going to feel amazing. All right, you guys, I love you. I'm praying for you. Get to work and have a blessed day.